Welcome to the HiFi Critics. Double Door returns. Why are you laughing already?
I don't know.
Just excited.
Yeah.
The iconic Chicago small club, the Double Door, replaced in Wicker Park by the expensive cooler company Yeti. Do you tried the Yeti before?
Yes, I have a Yeti.
Oh, you have a Yeti?
Yes.
Oh. Double Door is going to open in August in Uptown. Double Door will provide the finishing touches to a free market solution initiated by their owners who failed to extend their lease. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting.
Yeah.
Darwin wins again, or does he? Was Wicker Park's loss of the Double Door more than offset by Uptown's gain?
So,
Cory Booker.
I mean, the question, and this
complicated
is,
question.
I'll say this is a very complicated question. I think the way it's
I
written.
think it's like a compound sentence.
Exactly. So my question is, because I have two answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my question is, are we saying that the Uptown actually benefited more than Wicker Park lost, or are we
Yes.
saying that because the move to Uptown was a bad one, that Wicker Park actually gained something?
It depends on your perspective.
Okay, I just
right?
okay. So in my perspective, it's actually Uptown gained significantly more than Wicker Park lost in that situation.
Why?
Because you had the Wilson Avenue Theater. 1919 was the last time that it had real live performances in
Okay.
it. It was a vaudeville theater. It was an Italian-owned theater. You can tell I did a little bit of research on this.
Yeah. What do you
But I
mean?
think the music and I think the area needed something that was actually going to draw people in that wasn't just a regular theater. It was a movie theater.
Besides the Riv.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just think that
And the
that's
Aragon.
that's the theater district, and you're rebuilding the
Okay.
theater district now with adding all of the musical venues there. I think it's good.
Good for who? For Uptown?
Uptown.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So
at
you're
the
saying it's
beginning.
Wicker Park's loss?
I think it's Wicker Park's loss, but realistically, the things that were being built up around Wicker Park, the Double Door, its days were numbered.
Wicker
no matter
Park
what.
has been lost for a while.
Yeah, they've lost their way like 20 years ago.
I don't know about 20 years ago.
15.
Maybe, I would say like 10 years ago.
All right, well, let's agree to disagree on that.
Yeah, but now I'm trying to think. I think it's a gain for Uptown, but I don't think it's that big of a loss for Wicker Park because Wicker Park was already lost. But Wicker Park has subterranean. You can get to the Empty Bottle from Wicker Park, not too far.
That's not that close.
It's not that far. Not that far. What else is there's a couple other venues there in the Wicker Park area.
How many people from Wicker Park actually go to the Empty Bottle?
A lot. I think a lot.
Really?
But there's no Wicker Park hipsters anymore.
Yeah, no, 'cause
That's the whole point.
that's what I was moving to.
There's Wicker
So
Park
the
yuppies.
people-
They're getting suburbanites in
or
to the Double Door in Wicker Park.
When I stroll through Wicker Park,
Do you feel like you're at home?
I have to
Or
watch
you-
out for the baby strollers, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of baby strollers in the
You're playing
sidewalk.
Frogger with the baby.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this guy's going left, I gotta go right. Oh, here
Are
comes
you
a set
judging
of
the
twins.
baby stroller owners?
I'm just saying that.
Are they
those-
worse than dog owners?
No, I don't. I think.
Oh, they're not.
I think I think they're fine people on both sides, but I feel like I think it's stupid to put this overpriced cooler company in Wicker Park.
Yeti.
Yeah, I've been to one of these stores in
Austin?
Yeah, and
It's a great store.
It's terrible.
Okay, well, I guess we totally
terrible.
disagree on that.
I mean, I would love to know. I mean, I know one person that would spend $75 for a tumbler.
I am that person.
Yeah, where is it
You,
today?
you didn't get it for free?
No, I didn't. I don't have
So
a
you
Yeti
actually paid
tumbler.
for it.
Oh,
I don't have a Yeti tumbler. I have a Yeti cooler, but I
It's
didn't.
like
we got it
$400
for a gift. Got
Okay,
it for a
well,
gift.
so
But I
you
went to
have
the Yeti. I went to the Yeti store there. They've got the bar on the outside of it. You sit out, you hang out, you have a couple of drinks. Maybe you're basically lubricating yourself to go in and buy a $400 cooler.
and if you hit it on the right night, they have like live music on that same patio.
There you go. Then you don't need the double door.
My problem with the Yeti's thing is that there's no discounting, and we're getting away from the real subject here, the real crime is double
Considerably
door.
farther.
Not
But-
considerably.
But that store is a ripoff. These things are a ripoff. RTIC is the brand you should be buying.
Same company, right?
Hashtag humble brand.
I think it's a separate company.
It's a separate company, but it's started by the
Yeah.
co-founder.
And
of
they got
Yeti.
sued, and they were so
But they're
RTIC.
still, I think it's just their friends. and
Before
they're
we get
doing-
back to the double door, RTIC is the company to go
Yeah,
buy cooler stuff from.
It's
You-
Arctic.
Yeah, Arctic. Yeah, Arctic.
My God.
Yeah.
Sounds
I'm the
like
same person that calls
RTIC.
apt ABT. So sorry, I forgot to flick that switch on. I get my electronics at ABT, knowing there's a person's last name. But back to the double door. I think it's great that's moving to Uptown. Like you said, I think the Riv, which back to the free market. I hope this brings some competition and some good stuff to the Uptown, north of Irving Park area. The Riv definitely needs like a whole remodel. That place is, needs some work. The Aragon.
That's a good place.
The Aragon is okay if you're like in the first 5 rows of people. If you're like in the little Disney Mexican showcase area, the sound is terrible. You know what I mean, right? Like it looks
No.
like there's like a whole Mexican decoration at the Aragon.
No idea what you're talking about.
I'm gonna look at pictures of this, and you guys will be like, "Oh, this guy's right."
Are you gonna edit that picture into this?
Yeah, I'll put it into
Okay.
this, and I'll send you guys the picture. So I think it's good. And then you got the Uptown Theater, which I think will get some progress here if Kanye can make it happen. Maybe Chance the Rapper and Kanye can team up and fix that place. And then you got farther up, you got the in Rogers Park, you have the Davis Theater. So I think like you said, I think there's a theater district that's expanding up there.
But there was right on that block.
Yeah,
where
back in the day.
The Wilson Avenue
Yeah.
Theaters. That was like a theater district with a lot of art up there, which I think they now need to bring back.
Yeah. So most important, Carol's Pub is back in Uptown. So
That is the most important.
But those are all big theaters
Yeah.
and big venues,
Yeah.
right? So the Double Door adds a much more reasonably sized venue to that whole theater district, which is why it's a good addition to Uptown.
Yeah. But the
Because
Double
it's-
Door has a history of big acts. Like, it's not like that.
You'd be surprised. The Double Door was probably a little bigger than the studio, but not much bigger.
I don't mean the size. I'm talking about,
Oh.
they had the Rolling Stones there, right?
The Double Door?
Yeah.
Maybe like
Yeah.
but maybe like special show.
I'm,
Like,
just,
yeah.
I'm just saying, it's not like it's,
Yeah,
it's not this
the
size.
Stones played the Aragon too, but I think this. We won't get to the second question here, but I think up and coming acts now have a better, have a bigger chance or a better chance of better venues. So
Yeah.
I'm for the double door opening. Will I find myself at a concert at Double Door? I could see that happening.
All right.
So when will you go to your next Double Door concert?
My first Double Door concert ever. Probably never, unless the person that I believe will be touring through is the person that will tour through, and then I will go see that show.
So did you ever consider going to a show at the Double Door?
I'm not a live music person, so I don't really.
You're a dead music person?
I am, yeah. I'm the Grateful Dead only. So
24/7.
I'm a deadhead.
Hashtag sad.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned this is a great segue to a point that I want to make sure I shoehorn on. Shoehorn here about the Grateful Dead. That Wrigley Field only has 2 shows this summer, and they're both Dead and Company. Just wanted to
Really?
So
mention
far.
that. So that's most likely the only
You
No,
don't think Vedder is gonna like
Cash grab it?
Oh, I hope so, but
he's
I don't
not
think
gonna
it's
like
happen.
power slide himself right into the third show
I
or
wish.
something like that?
He was taking batting practice.
Yeah,
Wrigley
yeah,
Field.
yeah.
Jose
yeah.
Cardinal, maybe?
Yeah, but Double Door, thumbs up. We'll see what happens. I don't think this Yeti story will survive, but I think it's
It'll
stupid.
survive.
That'll be in 5 years.
Shinola survived. It'll survive.
I think. Oh yeah, right. Shinola's on Damon. Yeah, exactly.
What is Shinola?
It's a
Detroit brand.
Detroit leather and watchmaking company,
Yeah.
and it's like $600 for a piece of leather.
Is that much it is?
It's
Really.
really
I know
expensive.
they have a turntable.
Probably alligators.
They have a turntable that's like $3,000.
Yeah, people are in there all the time buying stuff. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Obama has a Shinola watch.
Yeah.
They have the ad at the store.
So I want to go back to why did the Double Door get kicked out of their location in Wicker Park? I mean, they could have very easily stayed, right?
I mean,
well,
they're idiots.
no, I think
Why?
it's the Chicago way.
I mean, okay, so you have to. There's a consideration of they could have either decided to terminate their lease and then sort of walk out with their tail between their legs, or they could have completely forgotten, and it's complete idiocracy, right? They're just
I don't
dumb.
think that's what happened.
Or they decided that they wanted to leave. They knew they weren't going to renew, but they wanted to make sure that they had a news story about them leaving. So they did this whole thing
Wow.
where they.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
alert.
that's a
Yeah,
good one.
this is a real Charlie Ferreira moment
Yeah, I
right
love
now.
it.
but
I love it, but yeah.
They didn't. They purposefully didn't renew, but then we're like, oh no, we wanted to renew, and then they were like, let's go to appeals, but then they never actually went through with the appeals. Like, it all stinks like a double.
I don't
door.
think that. I think they wanted to work out a deal in good faith, but the alderman got involved, and the alderman I think was friends with the developer, and the developer.
It's the opposite way around, because the alderman is actually screwing over the developer now by trying to pass rezoning on the double door so that they can't actually utilize it for. I mean, now that Yeti's going into it, but major revenue-making things like restaurants.
Because
or,
he wanted the alderman wanted a bribe from the developer, basically. That's
But
what I remember.
in this, the stories that I was reading about this is the alderman is actually pro double door. Like he was very
He was
sympathetic
pro
to the
whoever
double
gave
door.
him a bribe, because if you look at the contribution, the double door people were contributing money to his campaign.
Okay.
Was it Burnett?
No, it was not Burnett. I
No.
think it's Wicker Park.
Okay, but
it's
what
not Maldonado. So.
But the real story is that these guys forgot to renew their lease. They
Right.
had the right to renew it, and
Yeah.
they forgot to renew it. So what's up with these iPhone hipsters in Wicker Park that can't set a calendar reminder?
It was probably
I
on
mean-
420. They were too stoned to do it.
Yeah.
They were
forgot.
probably maybe they were on record store day.
Yeah.
Maybe it was record
Maybe
store
they were
day.
trying to book their next big gig.
How stupid are these people? I
I
mean,
mean-
you got a lease, you're renting. Do you know when the lease is coming up, or does the landlord have to remind you?
No, I know when my lease is coming up.
How do you handle that? Do you have like a calendar reminder? I mean, you're an
No,
Android guy, so you're
I
clearly intelligent.
Just typically remember that something as major as me losing my home is of importance to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't have an answer. I
How
mean,
can you defend
I
the iPhone
I don't
hipsters?
think they're iPhone users.
I'm pretty
But
sure
I'm pretty
they
sure
are.
they are.
If you've been to the double door and you're acting surprised they forgot something important, you're lying to yourself.
Well, I don't lie to myself much, but...
You're just saying.
All right, well, let's go to the closing question. Who should be the first band to play at the Double Doors' new location? Consider their history, the Double Doors, the location, and who's currently touring.
So, may I
Wait,
start?
I'm waiting.
So I thought about this.
I hope so.
All right.
Good.
That was the point.
Yeah, and I was bouncing from Kiss. Right? Yeah,
Kiss.
Kiss is touring right now. They've got a history of doing rock and roll bands. You've got a theater that's very vaudevillian in its history. So you've got a really showman.
But you realize that the Double Door Theater is they're going into a bank space, right? It's
Yes.
not. They're not going to.
I know.
Okay,
But
just
it's a
checking.
vaudeville. It was originally a vaudeville theater. So
Kiss was vaudeville.
Well, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, I see.
Kiss is they're a very showman's-esque
Yeah, the makeup.
performance.
I
So
see what you're saying.
I thought about that. Then I thought about Queen with Adam Lambert, just because I think that would be hysterical that Queen would play, and then it says with Adam Lambert, which I think is funny. But then I settled on the one and only Weird Al Yankovic, because the Double Door is a joke for not remembering to renew their lease. The vaudeville theater history of the Wilson Avenue Theater is perfect for Weird Al Yankovic. And so hopefully when Weird Al goes in, sings all of his songs, he can write something about how, you lost your home because you're an idiot or something like that. And it would be perfect. And that is when I would go see a Double Door show.
Wow.
He's playing Ravinia for the record. You could go to
Weird
I
Al?
can go there and get
Yeah.
my nice, I go there with a couple of wine coolers, sit down, enjoy
your
Weird Al.
Yeti cooler.
Yeah, my Yeti cooler and some wine.
Or Arctic, as I just learned, it's actually
Yeah, our
RTIC. You know what? Again, I call ABT, apt ABT, so
it doesn't,
not
it
surprised.
brings me so much joy
Yeah.
because I had to listen to you 4 times. Be
Yeah.
Like, what cooler company is he talking
Yeah,
about?
you know what? It makes perfect sense now, so
Yeah.
thank you. I learned something today.
You're welcome.
I'm going to get right to the point. The
Oh.
person
Finally.
Yeah.
the person that should play the Double Door was the first female mayor of Wicker Park, Liz Phair. She played the Double Door. She's, allegedly grew up in Wicker Park. She played the Double Door back in the plays, back in the day. Was, back when Wicker Park was grungy or whatever, she was hanging out with Urge Overkill and whoever else she was hanging out with,
Pumpkins.
the Pumpkins or whoever hanging out. She has gotten older, just like the Double Door has grown up. She doesn't live in Wicker Park anymore. She has a nice opening at the end of August between a concert at Foxwoods, Connecticut, and something in Spain. Nice opening right there for her to come home.
I can't disagree because I had Liz Phair as well.
Did you really?
Yeah, she's
Wow.
a Chicago icon. She played at the Double
The
Door.
mayor of Wicker Park, as I like to call it.
She played at the Double Door. She's back touring
Yeah.
after a period of time off. In fact, I just listened to her album last night in preparation
Which
for
one?
the show, Exile in
Oh,
Guyville.
okay.
I bought it in Germany
Oh,
at
wow.
the Dusseldorf record store that I go to. So it's an original
Name
pressing.
dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, humble
a
brag.
city in Germany.
Yeah.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
So yeah, Liz Phair. That's who I also
I
would
think
pick.
it's
So
probably
you
not
guys
going
will
to
feel
happen.
pretty bad when Weird Al.
Yeah,
plays.
when it's the accordion
So
show.
since 2 of the 3 of us said Liz Phair, if she actually plays there, if tickets go on sale, would you go?
If you 2 went?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go.
Okay.
You know who Liz Phair is?
Nope.
Okay. Well, even better. Even better. What do you think of the Double Doors move? Let us know in the comments section below.
You think they used 2 guys?
Bye
in the front?
bye.